All right, guys, today we've got another battery from Goldenmate. We already tried their 100 amp hour battery. Now this is his little brother, the 20 amp hour. I did like this battery for its ability to be opened up easily. It has screws to open up. It does have low temperature protection. However, it came in slightly under on the discharge test. Anyways, we're going to review the 20 amp hour Goldenmate today. So let's open it up. The user's manual. Oh, look at this. You can put 4 in parallel. You can put 4 in series. So it's a 12.8 volt, 20 amp hour, 256 watt hour. We can charge at 4 amps, which is the standard charge current is 4 amps. The maximum charge current is 10 amps. The maximum continuous discharge current is 20 amps. And there's the battery. I don't see the screws that you can take out to open this one up. It looks like it's glued like normal. So we're gonna have to bang this thing open. No screw terminals? No bolts? Wow, I've never seen a battery come with no bolts. So we're gonna have to find some bolts. All right, so I found some bolts that will work, but come on guys, how can you send a battery out with no bolts? Anyways, I've got it hooked up to this Victron Smart Solar 120. We're gonna charge it up, but we first need to limit the charge current to 10 amps. This will be normally at 20 amps, but since this battery is not supposed to be charged above 10 amps, we're gonna have to limit the charge current. So we'll do so here. We're at 20 amps. Let's go down to 10. There we go. Now we've gone to 10. So let's hook up some solar and we'll begin to charge this battery. There we go. Oh, we've got 10 amps going in. So the maximum we can charge this battery at is 140 watts. All right, so we'll just let it charge up and I'll be back. All right, guys, so the charger has gone into float mode, which means that it has fully charged this battery. The Victron chargers do like a bulk charge, and then they go into absorption, and then their last step is just go into float mode. And that means that they fully charged. So now we're gonna set this up to do a capacity test. All right, I got the shunt hooked up, got an inverter as the load. Well, I got a fan as the load through the inverter. And if you guys watched my last video, I rebuilt my testing shunt and originally used the new Junk Tech shunt. However, I really liked my old one for testing purposes. I think I'm gonna like this one for just being a battery monitor. And I do have a use for it that'll be coming up real soon. But I went ahead and just bought a new VAT4300 shunt, just like my old one, to continue my capacity test, because it has some information that I really like to have whenever I'm doing these capacity tests. So let's start capturing the time lapse, and then we'll turn on the inverter, and then we'll turn on the fan. Let's try low first. And I think that's about what I want to pull, is around 10 amps. So that's like a 0.5 C. I know a lot of them want to do a 0.2 C, but that takes forever. And if you guys watched my videos, you know that I haven't seen any difference, because we've done with the previous Goldenmate, the 100 amp hour, I believe that we did maybe a half C, and we didn't pass the capacity test. And then we did a 0.2 C and we still didn't pass it, so I don't think it's gonna matter much. All right, so anyways, we're gonna let this continue on, and when it completes, I'll be back. All right, the test completed. The inverter did shut down. And we did not pull full capacity on this one either. We've got 19.3 amp hours, 246.97 watt hours. And so we were shy roughly 4% of the capacity. All right, guys, so I think that's gonna be the end of the video. I'm not even gonna bother open this thing up because I don't think it's worth my time. So, wait a minute, what happened here? JK, you know I'm gonna open this thing up. All right, so we've got 3 positives and 2 negatives. Looks like we've got like a double 14 gauge and maybe 3 14 gauge on the positive side. Silicone high temp wire. Got the BMS here at the top. Well, the solder points look like they're done very professional. There's no frayed wires or anything like that. The solder is nice and shiny, so no cold joints there. Doesn't say anything on that side. I wonder if I can get these out. There's some temperature sensors in here, so we're gonna have to test and see if we got low temperature protection. There we go. All right. See, they put this sticky tape down at the bottom of these batteries, and it makes it real hard to get out. Which obviously is a good thing because you know it keeps your battery from falling apart. So, all right. So we got cylindrical cells. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 20 cylindrical cells. Looks like we've got 5 in parallel and then 4 in series. You know, we can see the cells just like with the other Goldenmate battery that I opened up. We can't really see any writing. There's a slight glimpse of a QR code right there. There's a few character numbers right there, but the writing is just not in the right spot for us to see it. I think somebody in the previous Goldenmate 100 amp hour review mentioned like they had some kind of inside knowledge of what cells they were, so they mentioned it in the comments. Okay, so we got our thermal probes coming in right here. Let's see if we can't peel this tape up and get an eye on the BMS. JG4S30A. So I think this is a 30 amp BMS. PK1 101 104 30 39. This looks very similar to the codes on the Goldenmate 100 amp hour. Obviously it's a different size BMS, but it looks like it may be the same manufacturer. So let's see if we can peel this tape here and get to those thermal sensors. I think it's probably a good sign that this might have thermal low temp protection because these are thermal probes and not just thermal switches. I'm going to hook up the solar charger once more. We'll plug in our solar. So we are charging at 135 watts. So let's try to freeze those probes up and see if we can stop this charge from taking place. Let's try this one. Oh, look at that. We dropped, well, my SD card filled up right at the climax. So let's do that again. I think you guys already seen it, but let's do it one more time. We're charging to 136 watts. There we go. It does have low temp protection. And this one, okay, it already warmed up and we're back to charging. Sweet. All right, guys. So the question is, would you buy a battery even though it comes in just slightly under the rated capacity? Does the presence of low temperature protection make up for that? If it's a decent build and the price is good, would you overlook that? I'd like to hear your opinions, what you guys think about that. But for now, I think that's going to be the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.